The Young and the Restless spoilers unmasking Martin Laurent. Traci Abbott's courageous crusade. Traci Abbott has always been the beating heart of the Abbott family, steadfast, compassionate, and unflinchingly honest. Yet in recent weeks, she found herself humiliated and emotionally shattered when her fiancé, the charming and enigmatic Martin Laurent, seemed to betray everything she believed about him. The revelation of hidden secrets and half-truths threatened not only her trust but also her very identity. How could the daughter of John and Dina Abbott have been so blind? On a crisp spring evening at the Genoa City Athletic Club, the tension reached its zenith. The club's elegant main dining room was filled with the clinking of crystal and low murmur of polite conversation. Traci, still reeling from her private discovery, swept in with determination blazing in her eyes. She strode past tables where familiar faces, Ashby, Newman, the Fisher, sat oblivious to the drama about to unfold. Her mission, to force Martin Laurent to reveal who he really was. She found him near the bar, the amber glow of the backlit shelves illuminating his handsome profile. For months, Martin had portrayed himself as a cultured philanthropist with a shadowy past, an orphan scion of French aristocracy who spoke of his late twin brother Alan in hushed, reverent tones. But Traci's instincts told her there was more to the story. She had uncovered a medical report, saw inconsistencies in his passport stamps, and heard whispers of a violent incident in Paris. Tonight, she would confront him. "Martin," she said, her voice steady but low. "I need to know the truth." He turned, surprise flickering in his dark eyes. "Traci, what are you talking about?" "Don't play coy," she replied, stepping closer. "Alan Laurent is dead. He fell from a window in Paris, everyone knows that. But who are you? Why the lies?" For a heartbeat, Martin's face hardened. He set his drink aside and folded his arms. "I've told you everything I can. That's not enough." Traci's voice rose. Heads turned. The room fell silent. Before Martin could answer, Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers, two women equally invested in Traci's happiness, joined her. Sharon, ever the empath, laid a hand on Traci's shoulder. Phyllis, with her trademark steeliness, advanced toward Martin. "Traci's right," Sharon said softly. "We deserve to know who you really are." Phyllis cut in, her tone icy. "You've been hiding behind Alan's name and reputation. It's time for the truth." Martin's jaw clenched. For a moment, he looked as though he might flee. Then, with a slow, resigned nod, he raised his voice so all could hear. "Fine," he said. "You want the truth? Alan Laurent died in Paris, yes. But I am not Alan's ghost. I am his identical twin brother, Martin. And I came here to start a new life, away from the scandal that followed us in Europe." His gaze flicked to Traci. "I never meant to deceive you. I thought if you believed I was Alan, you'd accept me without prejudice." A collective gasp swept the dining room. Traci's heart pounded. The revelation explained everything, yet it was more complicated than she could have imagined. Martin continued, voice cracking with emotion. "Alan was involved in something dangerous, someone tried to kill him. I escaped that fate by hiding in the shadows. When he died, I assumed his identity, hoping to build a life free from fear. But I never planned to hurt you." Traci's anger warred with her compassion. She thought back to the nights they spent planning a future together, to the way he had listened when she spoke of her regrets over rejecting Kane Ashby 6 years ago. How had she not seen the turmoil behind his gentle smile? Sharon squeezed her hand. Phyllis gave Martin a steely stare. The Abbott matriarch, Dina, who had arrived silently and watched from the doorway, now stepped forward. "Martin," Dina said softly, "truth is the only foundation for love. Will you stand by us, or will you disappear again?" Martin's shoulders slumped. He nodded. "I'll stay. I want to earn your trust," Traci's trust, honestly. Traci exhaled slowly. The room held its breath. Then she reached out, taking Martin's hand in hers. "This isn't over," she said, voice thick. "But we'll face it together." Aftermath and implications. The immediate fallout of Martin's confession rippled through Genoa City, Traci's reputation. For a moment, her judgment was questioned. Could the confident Abbott heiress really have been duped? Yet her willingness to confront Martin publicly ultimately reinforced her integrity. She refused to be silenced or shamed, turning humiliation into empowerment. Family dynamics. John Abbott, currently in poor health, learned of Martin's deception secondhand. While proud of Traci's bravery, he worried about the toll on her emotions. Ashley Abbott, protective of her sister, promised to help Traci through the healing process. Martin's redemption arc. Having shed his false identity, Martin now faces the task of rebuilding his life. His twin Alan's legacy, marked by mystery and tragedy, will continue to haunt him. But Martin's vow to be transparent offers hope that he can forge a genuine relationship with Traci and the Abbotts. Kane Ashby's role. Kane, who once hoped to win Traci's heart, watched from the sidelines. This revelation reopens old wounds. Should he re-enter her life as a confidant, or as something more? Their shared history makes his presence both a comfort and a complication. Genoa City power play. In a town where secrets are currency, Martin's deceit is a reminder that trust is the most valuable and most fragile asset. Sharon and Phyllis's involvement signals potential alliances and rivalries ahead. Will they stand by Traci, or will their own ambitions shift the balance? Looking forward, Traci Abbott's unyielding determination to unmask Martin Laurent has set the stage for a season of reckoning in Genoa City. As alliances shift and new threats emerge, one thing is certain: the truth, once revealed, cannot be unlearned. Whether Martin will be accepted as the man he truly is, or shunned for the lies he told, remains to be seen. For Traci, the road to healing will be paved with difficult choices. She must decide whether to forgive Martin's deception, or to guard her heart more fiercely than ever. And as whispers of other Laurent secrets surface, rumors of hidden heirs, shady business dealings, and the true circumstances of Alan's fall, the drama promises to intensify. In the world of the young and the restless, where every smile can conceal a dagger and every embrace can harbor betrayal, Traci Abbott has proven that courage and honesty can still prevail. As Genoa City holds its breath, one question lingers. When the final curtain falls on Martin's masquerade, who will be left standing? Victor Newman's bold gambit. A new chapter in the Genoa City saga. In recent months, Victor Newman has upended expectations with behavior that is as daring as it is uncharacteristic. Known for his shadowy presence and methodical precision, the legendary titan of Genoa City's business world has suddenly decided to step into the spotlight, laying bare his plans to those he once preferred to manipulate from the dark. This seismic shift in strategy has sent shockwaves through both his allies and his adversaries, setting the stage for a riveting power struggle that could redefine the balance between the Abbott and Jabot families. A leader unmasked. Victor Newman's transformation from the enigmatic puppeteer to a more open and almost brazen strategist has left many questioning his motives. For decades, he meticulously concealed his cards, preferring to operate in secrecy. Yet now, rather than lurking in the shadows, he has chosen to announce his intended targets and impending moves. This bold tactic is unprecedented for a man whose very existence has been built on mystery and calculated subterfuge. It is as if Victor, having honed his manipulative genius over the years, now believes that exposing his plans will either intimidate his adversaries or corner them into submission. The question on everyone's mind is, why would a man like Victor Newman, whose entire career is defined by hidden agendas and covert operations, suddenly decide to broadcast his schemes? Some believe this is a calculated risk meant to unsettle his enemies, while others suspect that it is a sign of vulnerability, a momentary lapse in his otherwise unbreakable armor. Regardless of the underlying cause, Victor's new approach has changed the game entirely. The wrath of the Abbott family. One of the most immediate and explosive reactions has come from the Abbott family, particularly from Kyle Abbott. Kyle, who has long been at the receiving end of Victor's ruthless maneuvers, is now fuming over the explicit warnings he and his family have received. In a tense confrontation, Victor delivered a chilling message to Kyle and his parents. They were facing nothing short of impending destruction. Such a declaration, coming from a man of Victor's stature, was as alarming as it was definitive. Kyle's anger is not merely a reaction to the threat, it is the culmination of years of simmering resentment. To hear his family's doom casually announced by the very man responsible for much of their suffering was a blow to his pride and his sense of security. The Abbott clan, known for their resilience and resourcefulness, now find themselves grappling with a new kind of enemy. A foe who is unafraid to lay his cards on the table, even if it means accelerating the conflict. A disillusioned confidant speaks out in another dramatic twist. Mueller's character, a long-standing associate with deep ties to the Newman dynasty, has expressed his profound disappointment with Victor's recent actions. Once a loyal confidant, he now finds himself questioning the motives of the man he once admired. His disillusionment was voiced in a candid conversation with Claire Newman, a woman who has spent considerable time delving into the many layers of her notorious grandfather's life. Claire, ever the diligent investigator, had always been fascinated by the duality of Victor's personality, a man capable of both cold calculation and fierce protection of his family legacy. Mueller's character lamented the transformation he witnessed. Victor was always the master of subtlety, he confided to Claire, his tone heavy with regret. Now, he's exposing his plans like a man who's lost his touch. It's as if he's torn away the very cloak that made him untouchable. His words resonated deeply with Claire, who herself was uncovering unsettling aspects of her grandfather's recent conduct. The revelation not only underscored the internal fractures within the Newman camp but also hinted at the possibility of a much larger, more dangerous shift in the balance of power. Entangled alliances and strategic roadblocks. As if the unfolding drama wasn't complicated enough, the relationship between Aristotle Dumas and Billy Abbott has emerged as a potential game-changer. Rumors have long swirled about Aristotle's mysterious connections, and his involvement with Billy Abbott now appears to be acting as a safeguard against Victor's full-blown assault on the Abbott and Jabot families. It is speculated that Aristotle's ties to Billy might be serving as a deterrent, preventing Victor from executing his attack with the same ferocity he had originally planned. This unexpected alliance, or at least this intersection of interests, could have far-reaching implications. With Billy Abbott's loyalty and Aristotle's enigmatic influence, the very fabric of the power struggle in Genoa City is being rewoven. The complexity of these relationships is a stark reminder that in the world of high-stakes business and personal vendettas, loyalties are fluid, and yesterday's enemies can become today's unlikely allies. Jack Abbott's moment to strike amid all the turmoil. One figure stands at the precipice of opportunity: Jack Abbott. With the situation surrounding Traci Abbott having been resolved in a way that removes one of the chaotic variables from the equation, Jack is now free to focus his considerable energies on countering Victor's latest scheme. Jack, a man renowned for his shrewd business acumen and unyielding determination, sees Victor's bold revelations as an opening, a chance to finally orchestrate a countermove that could tip the scales in his favor. For Jack, this is more than just a personal vendetta. It is a matter of preserving the legacy of the Abbott family. Every calculated step he takes is imbued with the desire to restore order and secure a future for his loved ones. The Abbott patriarch understands that Victor's public declarations are not simply threats, they are a prelude to a larger, more intricate plan. With renewed focus and the support of family members who are equally committed to defending their honor, Jack prepares to embark on a new phase of the battle. He begins gathering intelligence, aligning his allies, and formulating strategies that not only counter Victor's moves but also expose the vulnerabilities in the Newman Empire. The broader implications. Victor Newman's recent behavior is symptomatic of more than a mere change in tactics. It is a signal of the evolving dynamics within Genoa City. His decision to openly communicate his intended targets suggests that the stakes have never been higher. The traditional power play, which relied on secrecy and manipulation, is being replaced by a more direct confrontation, a gamble that could either cement his legacy or lead to his ultimate downfall. For the Abbott family, this is a defining moment. The explicit warning of doom has forced them to confront the reality of their precarious situation. The anger and determination of Kyle, the strategic brilliance of Jack, and the cautious optimism of allied figures like Billy and even the disillusioned Mealer's character all point toward an impending showdown. The very fabric of Genoa City's elite circles is at risk of being torn apart by betrayal, shifting alliances, and the relentless pursuit of power. At the same time, the Newman camp finds itself in uncharted territory. Claire Newman, with her investigative zeal, is now piecing together a puzzle that goes far beyond her own family's troubled history. Her quest to understand the dual nature of Victor, the merciless businessman and the protective patriarch, could unveil secrets that many would prefer remain hidden. As the layers of deception peel away, even the most loyal members of the Newman family may be forced to re-evaluate their perceptions of a man who has long defined their lives. A new era dawns as Genoa City braces for the coming storm. The actions of Victor Newman and the reactions of his adversaries underscore a simple truth: nothing in this town is ever as it seems. Victor's daring decision to forewarn his enemies, combined with the volatile mix of anger, disappointment, and strategic recalibration from the Abbotts, signals the dawn of a new era. One in which the old rules no longer apply, and the only certainty is that change is inevitable. For Kyle Abbott, the threat of impending ruin is not just a professional challenge but a deeply personal one. His simmering anger is both a reflection of past betrayals and a catalyst for future action. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott's newfound focus on dismantling Victor's plans represents the hope of a resurgence for the Abbott legacy. Together, the Abbotts are preparing for a counterstrike that promises to be as calculated as it is passionate. Victor Newman, on the other hand, remains an enigma. His public declarations and audacious tactics have unsettled everyone in his orbit, forcing even his closest confidants to question whether this is the first sign of a man under siege or a master at work on his next big play. With each revelation, Genoa City is drawn deeper into a web of intrigue where loyalty, betrayal, and ambition collide. As the stakes continue to rise, every character, whether an ally or an enemy, must navigate a landscape where trust is scarce and every move could be the precursor to a dramatic shift in power. In the end, Victor Newman's bold gambit may either reaffirm his status as the undisputed king of Genoa City or mark the beginning of his undoing. The coming days will reveal whether his openness is a sign of calculated brilliance or the herald of a storm that could consume them all. For now, the battle lines are drawn, and every player in this high-stakes game must decide: will they stand with Victor, or will they seize the moment to forge their own destiny? This narrative not only explores the tension between Victor Newman and the Abbott family but also delves into the intricate web of alliances and rivalries that define the world of Genoa City. It sets the stage for a dramatic confrontation, promising a future where every revelation could be the spark that ignites the next great power struggle.